are these people?
An Israeli airstrike on July 2nd killed the Gaza hospital director along with his family. Now, again, remember that we've been talking, now this is from Dave DeCamp, antiwar.com, both Indie Media Award honorees, best of the best. Again, we only go to the best of the best here. Israeli attacks have killed 70 healthcare workers over the past 50 days. But they're not targeting healthcare systems, right? And remember that targeting healthcare systems and killing aid workers is a war crime every single time.
Yep.
They do it without shame and without any care. So what Dave writes is that on...
This is just...
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I
was going to talk about Dr. Hassam as well, who's still... We have no idea at his, status. So...
If he's even alive, where he is... Right.
Right.
They pushed his trial, whatever that is, 6 further months just so they could torture and imprison him another 6 months.
Torture him more.
But Dave writes that on Wednesday, an Israeli airstrike struck an apartment in Gaza City, which killed Dr. Marwan al-Sultan, the director of the Indonesian hospital, as the Israeli military continues to kill medical workers and decimate Gaza's healthcare infrastructure by design. According to the Associated Press, so you know it was intentionally disseminated as propaganda, al-Sultan was killed alongside his wife, daughter, and son-in-law. Again, propaganda because the State Department or whoever wanted it pushed out there pushed it out through the Associated Press. That was done by intent. Other reports say his sister is also killed. According to Haaretz, the Indonesian hospital has been out of service since May 21st after an Israeli airstrike destroyed its generators. So, al-Sultan had been quoted by many media outlets warning of the catastrophic destruction of Gaza's medical infrastructure. That's apparently something that's worthy of a death sentence to the Israelis. According to Healthcare Workers Watch, a Palestinian medical organization, al-Sultan's killing marks again the 70th healthcare worker killed by the Israeli military in Gaza in the past 50 days. Name any other country that could intentionally murder 70 healthcare workers in 50 days and not be bombed to the Stone Age.
I know of one.
The killing of the killing of Dr. Marwan al-Sultan by the Israeli military is a catastrophic loss to Gaza and the entire medical community and will have a devastating impact on Gaza's healthcare system. That was, again, by design. Quote, this is part of a much longer and systematic, atrocious targeting of healthcare workers sanctioned by impunity. This is a tragic loss of life, but also an obliteration of their decades of life-saving medical expertise and care at a time when the situation facing Palestinian civilians is unfathomably catastrophic. Now you're taking away the people that can possibly fix the few that are left. The Guardian report said that among the healthcare workers killed over the past 50 days, there were 3 other doctors, the chief nurses at the Indonesian hospital and Al Nasser Children's Hospital, because you don't want them fixing children, apparently, one of Gaza's most senior midwives, a senior radiology technician, and dozens of young medical graduates and trainee nurses, because why allow the next generation to actually take care of people? On June 6th, the first day of Eid, 9 healthcare workers were killed in one day in airstrikes in the north of Gaza, where they were sheltering with their families. I mean, The Hague, we've got to figure out a way to hold these people accountable. On May 25th, an airstrike on a home in Khan Yunis killed 9 out of 10 children, as we know, of doctors Ala al-Najjar and Hamdi al-Najjar. Allah was working as a pediatrician at the Nasser hospital when the strike hit her family, and Hamdi was injured in the attack, succumbing to his wounds a few days later. Allah and her only surviving child, 11-year-old Adam, who was badly maimed, have since been evacuated to Italy for medical treatment. Again, another doctor out of commission, which is exactly what Israel wants. All right. But that's not all, because this one was targeted, and here's why. Mossab Abu Toha, which interestingly had his Substack account suspended yesterday for a few hours. They put it back, thankfully. There's only one person I know of who's ever had their Substack account permanently suspended and disabled. They don't censor. He says, oh my goodness, how did I miss this until now? The timing of Israel's assassination of Dr. Marwan al-Sultan, the director of the Indonesian hospital and one of Gaza's top cardiologists, was no coincidence. It happened on the very same day Gaza Doctors Under Attack was scheduled to air on Channel 4 in Zateo.
Channel 4.
This is the same documentary that the BBC had commissioned and cleared for broadcast back in February, before abruptly pulling it on June 20th. I wonder why.
Why? Why?
Maybe
Even
Israel
we know why, but why? Yeah, but like that's not enough.
Yes.
You're a fucking completely other country.
Dr. Al-Sultan's
what the
daughter
fuck are you doing?
Said the missile struck the only room where her father was staying. It seems like this world still does not understand what Israel is capable of and what they are doing. Again, he's one of the doctors who was in this documentary. But he wasn't even the only doctor.
Like, could you imagine any other country? Could you imagine any other country being able to just call the BBC and be like, hey, can you pull that documentary about us down? Like, that would never happen.
No,
they did one on Russia.
Ordered them to. Ordered them to, as if they were the bosses, and they complied. This is a state-run media agency.
Every fucking time. They
got somebody by the short and curlies. They got to have film on everybody, and thanks to their spyware, they know everybody's private stuff.
Everything.
They can go after anybody. But he wasn't, again, the only doctor this week that they murdered. All right. Dr. Musa Kafaja, which is a doctor at Nasser Hospital, along with his entire family, including 3 children, when their tent was struck with a missile in southern Gaza. This is him delivering babies. He was one of the most preeminent prenatal doctors, not because he treated soldiers, but because he saved premature babies. Those barely alive and deemed too dangerous to live.
In incubators.
In the eyes of their enemy, his real enemy was the future, so the missile came to silence his heartbeat, to empty his crib, to stop the tiny threats from breathing. What kind of injustice is this? What kind of war sees incubators as a threat? It's not a war. It's a massacre. It's an extermination. And it's disgusting. And we're funding it and arming it.
I mean, I'm old enough to remember, people talking about incubators and babies on the Senate floor and getting us into a war that way.
Yes.
I vaguely remember that.
Correct. Suppressed news.
What happened? I thought we cared about babies.
Thanks, Israel, for making us do a Fuck Israel segment. Stop murdering people, and we will stop doing a Fuck Israel segment. If you are able to and of means, please support the media you want to see and support INN, support independent media. The ways to do that, we don't like the platforms really getting the money. We'd rather it come to us because they take a lot of fees. Cash App, $, Indie News Network, ko-fi.com/Indie News Network, paypal.me/Indie News Network. IndieNewsNow.com is our website where you can donate direct. INN newsletter over at Substack.com, as well as IndieMediaToday.com, where, again, we are live right now. Hello and shout out to everybody over on Substack. Good to see you, and thank you for watching over there. So,
coming to a Substack newsletter near you.
Support independent media because we need it more than ever. I love you all, and we'll see you soon.
See you in a bit, fam.
Mwah. Ciao, baby.
We are out of here.
Bye-bye! No! We just fucking lost the stream!
I guess this isn't such an awful place. Is that what you want?